Welcome to How Can It Be, where we bring in experts in different fields to learn about what it really takes to do what they do. I am your host, Carlos Guerrero, and today we have María Ospina, an expert in the field of real estate with over 11 years of experience and 20 million closings. With a double major in public relationships, advertising, and applied communications, she has also led hundreds of professionals to grow their business with focused digital courses and webinars. Maria is here today to talk to us about how hard can it be to separate yourself as a personal brand. Welcome, Maria. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Carlos?
Excellent.
Incredibly honored to be here.
My
Thank
pleasure
you for having me.
My pleasure for being here today. So tell us where you come from and how is it that you got to where you are today?
Absolutely. Well, I am a Colombian native, but definitely Miami native. Have lived here my entire life.
What part of Colombia?
Cali.
Cali.
Yes. Incredibly proud of my roots and incredibly proud of where I came from.
Nice. And you came here when you were how old?
About 5 years old. So
Okay.
you can definitely say I'm very Americanized.
Oh, yes,
My
sure.
family back home will definitely say that with my Spanish.
More like Miami, man, nice.
Very Miami.
Yeah, you have the accent. I have the accent. I think we all here have the accent from Miami.
Trust me, and it's amplified when I'm in New York.
Nice.
So you're definitely not from here.
So yeah, we're talking about this, and you actually live Miami and New York. How is that? How do you go back and forth, and how do you stay?
Scheduling.
Okay.
Scheduling, it's fun, but it has, proven to be a little bit difficult sometimes. There's always something that you're going to miss out on, right? There's always something that's going on back home. On my way over here, one of my best clients texted me, hey, we're having an opening party for this. Like, are you in New Jersey? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm actually in Florida right now. So, just really being able to schedule myself out, but it's culturally eye-opening. And I think that it gives me a huge edge. I love the work ethic that New York has. And I bring the Miami, swag up there, so they really take a liking to that. And it's been great.
Love it, love it. Where do you spend more time, here or in New York?
Lately, I've been spending a lot more time in New York. We're definitely trying to make a push to open up those territories. We have New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, which is just a great epicenter to be able to, boost 3 states at once. Whereas in Florida, I'm a little bit more limited. We've been here for a very long time and have some amazing sales force that has already broken ground. So, I'm like, all right, let me go open up a new market. I'm always down for a challenge. And, I think that because I don't have anything really pulling me back in any sole place, it really gives me the ability to be in both places and to enjoy both cultures. And I've always wanted to live in New York. So it's literally a manifestation come true.
It's a win-win. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's talk about you now. You came here when you were 5 and your business is successful. You have done a lot. You're doing your digital marketing. You also work for a title company, one of the largest ones. How did you get to all this stuff?
Well, it definitely comes with learning from very little, where my talents lie.
Okay.
Right? And I think that one of the things that I discovered was public speaking. I was in debate class when I was very little, so I'm never shied away from the camera. And I've also been lucky enough that I was exposed to the real estate world since I was very young. I started off with my stepdad, and he's thoroughly helped me understand the market, understand how to work with people, understand the real estate world, which is very challenging to be in, very challenging to be as a woman, very challenging to be in as a young person. People are looking for expertise, they're looking for knowledge. And if you don't lie between one of those, then it becomes a little bit more challenging for people to trust you.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about those challenges in particular? What kind of challenges are you referring to?
So
As a woman.
as a woman, I've always said, and this is something that my boss and I have spoken about, and I've spoken about with plenty of women that are also coming into the industry. I'm like, look, your beauty will get you in through the door, but the way that you articulate yourself, the way that you carry yourself is what's going to keep you at the table. So always be keen to listen and always be keen on not staying quiet, but knowing when to speak up, right? Knowing when to voice yourself, voice your concerns, but don't want to say unfortunately, because I feel like we have an edge, right? I feel like we bring something, a certain je ne sais quoi that maybe men don't bring to the table, a creative aspect to this world. And the right person and the right team will always resonate with it. Always say that. Always look for the people that admire you and your work ethic, and they will resonate with whatever you have to say.
And how did you learn that? What happened in your life that you're like, you know what? Because obviously, I'm sure you had some experiences we all have experiences. Like we have to fall a couple of times before we're like, okay, you know what? I need to learn how to keep my mouth shut, or I need to now I need to speak up. How did you learn that? What happened to you?
Listen, learning to speak up, it all comes from being secure about yourself, right? And I learned that I had to be very involved in my personal development, in reading books, in listening to podcasts, in focusing on rewiring my brain circuits from past and old habits, learning what my true values are and not what societal values have imposed on me. And I swear to you, the past 2 years have been a completely transformative 2 years.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it's amazing that you say that, because every professional that we have brought here, they all have one thing in common. Kid you not. And it's exactly what you say. Develop yourself. Learn, educate yourself. Mindset. It's like everything that you just said, like everybody, most of the people have said the same thing.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
It's definitely all about mindset. There is something that I learned that stuck with me. Thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. I live in a state of gratitude. I live in a state of abundance. I live in a state of knowledge, constantly seeking more knowledge and more learning. And that all translates into the rest of my life. It translates into my physical well-being, into my mental well-being, which is so incredibly important, and into the rest of the success. And success, I think it's very subjective to everyone based on everybody's different experiences.
Exactly. So now let's go back to your experience. You started working with your father in real estate, which that's where I guess where you got your, I love real estate, right? Because you need to love real estate to kind of like keep going. And obviously real estate is real estate. I mean, it's
real estate's that toxic ex-boyfriend you can't get rid of, okay?
Exactly.
You know that it's good. It's always going to be there. Like, no matter what, people need somewhere to live, right? Like, that's the way that I looked at it.
So your first business was title, right? And now till today, you're in a bigger business that does titles. Tell us about that and how you were able to develop in that business to be successful where you are now. Now you're basically, living in Miami, living in New York. You're basically carrying the career over there too, right? How is that?
I think that they've all been serendipities of life, right? I said yes to working with my stepdad because I wanted to do something, after school. I had already finished all my credits. So I'm like, you know what? Like, let me help the family business. And I ended up really liking it in terms of like, it was easy for me, right? I'm looking through foreclosure reports. I'm learning what list pendants are. I'm learning what mortgages are, a second mortgage, learning how to look through court enforcement liens and, how to like look through basically through title, which other people would think boring, but to me, it just became very systematic, right?
Yes.
Once it became very systematic, my family and my mom was like, you need to go do something else, right? Like you're not exploring your brain as much as you can. She's like, you can no longer work for us. I was like, what? Like, I'm so comfortable here. She's like, no, that's why, because you've already gone into the point where what used to take you 8 hours now takes you 2 hours. That means you're getting too comfortable. You know this, you need to go elsewhere.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that because, you probably outgrew the business you were in. And if that business is not capable of growing, then hey.
Exactly. Yeah. My parents were like, love you, learn everything you need to learn, go fly and go get uncomfortable and go interact with different people.
I love that. Get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's like one of the secret recipes to success.
Exactly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. And fast forward, started working very young at a real estate brokerage, which I met some incredible people, my best friends to this day, incredible mentors, which led to meeting New World Title and always keeping in contact with them, right? It's all about the people you know, and it's all about the relationships that you've created and the relationships that you've garnered. They were very, very keen and also, understanding that I still went to school. I went to school for public relations, marketing, advertisement. And they also, I would always say, I'm like, you guys, like, let me practice with you guys. Because they did, they're like, you know what, handle our social media, handle our marketing. And, I'm very, very proud that to this day, George Consobello, which if you're watching this, you're like my brother, to this day, he says, like, thanks to you and your girls, like, we are where we are right now. Like, you guys were with us. I'm like, I was with you from the very beginning when you only had one office, and now he has 25 to opening offices literally every month all over the United States. And it's incredible growth to see,
Wait, because this is blow mine. Okay, so now I want to focus on that. Because going from one office to 25 offices is a huge success.
Of course.
What were you doing for him in the personal development part? Like, how did you do that? What happened there?
You know what? I always said I'm a huge advocate for his company because I don't believe like I'm a salesperson. I believe that I influence people to what I truly believe, and they see the passion that I speak to it, that it just resonates with them. It may resonate with them wholeheartedly or it may not. But I believed in his vision, in his capacity to really connect with his agents, to be different from other brokerages. And that's just the way that I would speak to it, right? So I was always recruiting for him, not because, you need to come work for lifestyle, but because people would see the lifestyle that we would live and they wanted to be a part of it, right? Like they wanted to be a part of something great that was growing and the way that I demonstrated it online.
So it sounds to me that they were able to build a great culture.
Yes.
And then that culture attracts people, like-minded people, to be part of that. And that's how you grow your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about, we created a brand, right? You're not selling homes, you're selling a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
now in your day-to-day, because I'm assuming you had hard times. Tell us about how hard was it? Like, tell us your challenges to basically build the brand. What happened?
So one of the main challenges was definitely how can I differentiate myself from other title agents, from other title companies that have also been here for a long time, that also have, the monetary backing, that have a lot of the same things, and how to position myself as someone that can provide value for them. I always say, I don't want to ask you for business. I want to earn your business. But how do I do that? It's been about answering that. How can I earn your business? I don't sit there and tell you, well, I can do marketing. I can do this. I can do that. You don't care about that, right?
Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about that. I've learned that people are always asking. They're in a survival mode. What can you do for me to survive and thrive? What can you do for people? That's how you provide value.
Yes.
Always asking them, what's the hole in your business? Where can I come in? What is your, exactly, what problem can I solve? And if I can't solve, let's figure it out. I always say everything's figure outable.
Can't stop, won't stop. If you're enjoying this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, if you're an expert in your field, we would love to have you here as our guest. To register, go to howhardcanitbepodcast.com. People want to know, how hard was it? Do you have like any stories that I was like, shit, like I almost gave up. I was like, like something like was a pivot moment in your life that you had to struggle with. For example, myself, I almost went bankrupt, right? I had to basically lost everything. And then I had to come back and start from zero. That's my story. Do you have something like that?
I do have this story about...
We have tissues, by the way. It's okay.
I had a place that I worked where I was very passionate about what I was doing. It's completely unrelated to real estate. I was selling HVAC scenting machines for hotels. It was an environment where I was very happy, right? I was killing it at 22 years old. I was already making six figures. I felt on top of the world. I discovered my passion for sales, which I didn't know I had. I, started there as a marketing manager. And then it was, all serendipity, right? It ended up being that the CEO saw the way that I spoke and the way that I articulated myself. He's like, I need you in my sales department. Fast forward a year and a half later, it was a very toxic environment and part of the CEO, right? And yo no me dejo.
Yeah.
Like I was I was used to seeing these girls that they would quit and come back and quit and come back and quit and come back. And as soon as the first, red flag shot up that was, oh, we're going to cut your commission because of XYZ. I was like, no, you're not going to mess with me. You're not going to mess with my money because I work 14 hours a day for you every single day for you to come and mess with my money because of XYZ. So it just left me
bad taste in your mouth.
It left a very bad taste in my mouth for the corporate world,
yes.
Right? Combined with 2020, seeing my mom that has been working in the hospitality industry for 20 years, and then her also get laid off. So it was just like all these, domino effect of things that just, made me step back and I'm like, what are we doing? Right? Like, what is this external validation that we need from said employers to know that you're doing a good job? I know who I am. I know where my talents lay. I'm going to bet on myself.
Yeah.
Right? And, going into real estate is really betting on yourself because you're like...
Self-employed, basically.
Yeah, self-employed.
And a lot of competition.
Yeah, and a lot of competition and a lot of uncomfortness and a lot of rejection.
Yes.
And
Tell us about the rejections when you started. What happened?
you know what? It was a lot of mental.
I'm telling you why, because
Yeah.
the people that are watching you right now, they're where you are and they want to learn from you. What is it that you did to get out of those?
It's not about me. It's not about you. The rejection is a reflection of whatever that person's going to. A book that I read, it's called The Four Agreements. And it's a life-changing book for me. And one of the things on the Four Agreements, it basically says that the way that others treat you is a reflection of themselves, but the way that you let them treat you is a reflection of you. So you can go one of two ways. You can take it to heart and think that it has to do about you, but the real route is dusting yourself off and going for the next one. And it's all a numbers game. You talk to 100 people and you get rejected by 98. Okay, that means that there's 2 people. You multiply those 2 people times 365, you have a lot more than you wouldn't have tried. But you have to get through that 100. You have to get through that number.
It's part of success.
It's all a part of success.
Love it, love it. And it's funny what you say, because all your experiences till now has led you where you are today, right? Because if you wouldn't have done the title you with your family, if they haven't kicked you out the door, if you wouldn't have done the sales, then that's really where you get your experiences. Because one thing is you go to school and you learn from school. Another thing is you actually apply the experiences, apply the failures, learn everything that, because you have to go through the downs to learn and to get stronger. And because what it seems to me like, you mentioned before, I was not one of those girls that I kept letting come back. I'm like, you know what? This is it.
Yeah.
I'm thick skinned. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep failing, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep going forward. So basically, you had your battles, you had your successes, you had your downs. Now you're basically living in Miami, New York. You're basically creating this empire now. You're trying to grow. Now, in current market, what's going on? Because the market has shifted. How does that affect your business and your day-to-day?
You need to work a lot more. You need to be a lot more savvy. You need to be the person that's the most knowledgeable right now is the one that's going to win. The one that's constantly developing themselves, of course, not just personally, but professionally. The ones that are setting their foundations, taking this time to really grab as much market share as possible, right? Look over who your partners are, who your vendors are, and the foundation in which you're setting your business.
Now, what happened to you particular that you're like, okay, I need to work more?
Business was cut in half.
Okay.
Business is literally cut in half.
Tell us more about that.
You get, not gonna lie, everyone got very used to the 2020 and 2021 market, even 2022. And you were in a position where you were winning, right? You were in a position where no matter where you looked at, whether it was buyers or it was sellers, there was an opportunity to grab something there, right? Buyers are not being, X'd out because of the high interest rates. There's a low supply in the housing inventory. The medium household is incredibly high, and it's getting higher because now the medium household income has increased because of the influx of New Yorkers, Californians coming in that are used to paying those high prices. We've had an influx of about $18 billion come into Florida, which means that the medium household income has increased.
Yes.
Not for the people living here, but for the people that are coming in. There's the Citadel effect, just the same thing that we saw in San Francisco when Google opened up, where all these big tech giants needed to buy housing, right? Now Citadel came. The CEO lives in Boca. They're all buying here in Coral Gables, and it just keeps rising and rising the house prices.
I think what people don't understand sometimes when you're in real estate, depending on what you do, if you work for somebody, if you're not, your salary, if there's a salary, it's very small. Because we basically, in real estate, you work in commission, right? And commission is about how many transactions you do. And that's when you really get paid. So somebody like in yourself, or even my business, if I don't make enough transactions, then my commission gets cut in half. So if let's just say you're making $100,000 a year and 50% of your sessions stopped, and now you're making $50,000 a year. So now that's like a wall moment.
Yeah.
So that's basically what happened to you, right?
That's what happens. You either sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
And I chose to swim, but I chose to swim in a direction where it can lead me to other opportunities, right? And an intersection where I can find where my passions converge into what the world needs and what I can get paid for.
Of course.
That's called Ikigai. It's a Japanese term that's called the reason for being.
Nice.
Yeah, it roughly translates into that.
Now, talking about that, because I know you're coming up with this course for digital marketing. Can you tell us the purpose of this course?
Absolutely. The purpose of this course is truly to take any business owner, not just real estate, right? My niche is real estate, so I know how to speak directly to realtors and lenders because that's the language that I speak. But digital marketing is something that can be applied to all professions and that should be applied to all businesses. It's like if you didn't have a phone in 2005 and you said, I don't want to have a cell phone. That's the same thing as saying, I don't want to have a website. My business doesn't need to run online. Your business needs to run online. If you're not online, you don't exist.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? So my purpose for this was to be able to give back value and to position myself in a way that I can earn your business while giving you something that you can directly apply to your business and help it grow.
So basically what I'm understanding is your course that you're coming out with now is due to basically your experiences, everything that you have learned, and also for the story that you have, because you were able to take a business owner from one store to over 25 stores by doing your marketing, you were doing that stuff. So I'm assuming that your course is teaching people how to do it, correct?
Exactly.
Nice.
It's basically teaching you how to scale. First, you need to set your foundation in order to be able to scale. You can't expect to go from earning $200,000 in commissions to earning $1 million in commissions without having the systems and the foundation in place. It's like trying to build a house without,
A set of plans. Yeah.
Like what am I going to do when I run an open house? What are my processes going to be? What are the types of emails that the people that came to my open houses are going to be? How am I going to lay out the plan for the homeowner to feel confident in what is going to happen next, right? When you sit down with a homeowner, with a buyer, they always want to know, what's the plan? How are you going to get me there? And they want to know two things. Don't confuse me. And how is this going to help me survive and thrive?
Yes.
How is this going to benefit me?
So you have basically that whole recipe in your course.
Yes.
I love that. So now, what tips can you give them? Like, let's assume that, they're struggling right now. They're in that same position that you were. Their commissions just got cut off. They're not making what they want to make, or they want to start in the real estate now. What tips can you give people?
Absolutely. So one of the first tips that I'll give is really, really define your target market. Really define who it is that you're going to be speaking to. What I find that a lot of people do, a lot of realtors do, is that they're speaking to other realtors. And other realtors are not going to buy homes from you. You need to speak to who it is that your ideal client is. And how do you define that? By finding who it is that you want to be selling to, what it is that you're good at. I have realtors that are like, if you want to buy, sell, rent, invest from here to Timbuktu, contact me. But it's like, you need to focus on something,
yes,
right? So that way you can speak directly to that person. And when they're looking through your socials, when they're looking through your website, they can feel like you're talking to them. They can feel like this person can help me because they know exactly what my problem is and they have a plan and they have a solution.
Love that.
Position yourself as a guide, as a mentor, right? You're not the hero. You're going to hear, oh my God, you should hear my Zooms. Calling them, I'm like, you're not the hero. The hero is your client. You are their guide. You are their mentor. You're the one that's going to guide them. But you're not the main honcho in this story.
Nice.
And when you take yourself out from that mentality of, I know everything and, no, always be like, you need to learn what your client needs. That's how people get to know, like, and trust you, is by just being of service.
So you said basically define your clients. Now, you made a good point. Like, everybody wants to like, I could go from here to here. How can you do that? How do you define your clients? Like, how do you get into a certain niche? Is that something that you want to do? Is based on the market? Is based on your experience? How will you tell people to define their niche, their clients?
I would say that one of the best things that you can do to define your target audience is, what are you willing to learn more about, right?
Okay.
One of the first investments that I did I did last year was on probate. I didn't know anything about probate. Somebody came to me with an opportunity. I was like, you know what? Pause a second. I went and I researched everything that I could about probate. I'm like, you know what? This is an incredible niche. Right? And that's also a great tip for investors. There's a lot more than the fix and flip, than the Airbnb. Of course, you can do the buy and hold, but every market creates an opportunity for something different.
I mean, obviously, that's very important because any business, you need to basically focus on who your target is, who your audience is, and how you're going to market to them, how you're going to serve them. So I just love the tip. Now, Based on your course, what else can you tell us about the course? What else the purpose and stuff like that is?
Absolutely. One of my favorite parts about this course is going to be building your story brand. But a concept that not a lot of people teach, which is called Ikigai. And it's basically a Japanese concept that roughly translates to the reason for being. For as long as I can remember, I've always had conflicting desires that come from living a life full of meaning and consequence, and then the lifestyle that comes with having money and whatnot, which we all want. So when I found and I discovered Ikigai.
Ikai? What is it?
Ikigai.
Ikigai.
Yep.
That one up.
It's above all else a concept that strives to balance the spiritual and the practical. To discover this, you must find what you're most passionate about. Then you find the medium in which you can express that passion. This balance is found in the intersections where your passions and your talents converge with what the world needs and what you can be paid for. So very simple. I thought about, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about teaching, right? What can I do? Digital marketing, right? This is what I studied. This is what I know. What does the world need more of? The world needs more of people that are willing to go out there and teach, right? People that are willing to have all the knowledge that they have in their brain and be of service to other people by putting out that knowledge. More mentors, more coaches, more guides.
Yes.
Right? And what can I be paid for? Well, I can be paid for both. I can be paid for title and I can be paid for digital marketing.
Yes. You know what's funny? Like, now that you say coaches, mentors, and stuff like that, a lot of people sometimes don't see the value in that, right? But at the end of the day, when you pay somebody that has already walked the walk and been there and done that and create great success for other companies, all you're doing is you're paying to save time.
Yes.
Right? You're paying to go from here to here in a much faster time. So whatever the price is, it's really priceless at the end of the day, because time is very valuable. So if you could get me from point A to point C in a shorter period of time, that's something that I learned too, because I got coaches, I have mentors, and it's a night and day, but some people don't see the value in it.
Of course. So I posed this question: would you rather pay $500 for a headshot, or would you rather pay $500 to set up your business for life?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, right? No-brainer. But that's where I see that people lie in that confusion where it's all superficial. But if you don't have the foundation set up from the very beginning, then it's never going to work, no matter how cute your headshot is.
That's amazing. Now, Maria, let us know, where can people find you and get to know you more, maybe find out about your courses, learn from you? Where can they reach you?
Absolutely. Instagram, follow me on social media. It's title_María Ospina. You'll also see some links there to be able to join my webinar series and to sign up to receive all my latest updates, my emails, and be up to date in all your real estate digital marketing knowledge.
Love it. Love it. Hey guys, there you have it. Don't forget to follow, share, and like. Can't stop, won't stop. Let's go.